Hello everyone, I'm back and here to talk about some other rubbish, but I thought, hey, why not show I've improved with having some sort of avatar? There we go, yeah, that's good enough. Yep, we're back, and today we'll be covering that guy again. You know, the very reasonable one.
Fucking pronouns!
Yep, it's that guy, you know, Heels versus Bubbleface. You know, that guy. And boy howdy, what an amazingly epic and really cool rant we have today. The Indoctrination Who Christmas Show! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Could have at least gotten the TARDIS exterior right, but sure, whatever. But hey, I'm procrastinating, so yeah, let's get into this. Yippee.
Gatwa is now the kinda, sorta, probably not really, Doctor! And people turned out in their tens of millions to see his debut on Christmas Day. No, they didn't. It was the lowest rated Christmas Doctor Who show of all time.
Look, I understand this is Heels' style, but I'm sorry, it just comes across as really obnoxious and forced. Like he's desperately trying to get a laugh out of his audience. Also, note how he doesn't specify what kind of ratings he's referring to. He's just kind of generalizing the response to the episode to make it seem a bit more unanimous to an audience who won't really research if the episode was actually received well or what the ratings actually, you know, mean.
Hi everyone, it's Az here from Heelvsbabyfaces, so the latest Doctor Who show hit on Christmas Day this year. No, I won't call it a Christmas special, because if I'm going to use Doctor Who and special in the same sentence, then I'm probably going to have to use the word Olympics or needs after it.
Do you get it, everyone? Do you get the joke? The Special Olympics exist. People with disabilities exist. Laugh now.
There was nothing special about this Doctor Who show whatsoever. In actual fact, it didn't even feel like a Doctor Who show. It felt like Queer as Folk. I'm only mucking about. Queer as Folk was much less gay than this was.
Oh, brother, this...
Now, Russell T Davies is calling Doctor Who a fantasy show now, and not necessarily science fiction.
Yep. Apart from the fact that he said he'd be going back to proper science fiction at some point in Series 1, but hey, not a lot of people talk about that for some bizarre reason.
Give me some Willy! Alright, I said sorry, okay?
Sorry, Russell, my suspension of disbelief can only go so far.
Get it? Get it? He has a disdain for trans people. He doesn't like them. Do you get it now?
Quick, Doctor! Inject some masculinity into the show. Toot sweet.
Falling down on my...
Right, maybe not then.
I don't know why, but the idea of, like, injecting masculinity into a given product will automatically, like, make it better. It's just really funny to me. I don't know, it's just so ridiculous.
Thank goodness nothing else happens within the next couple of minutes.
Now, if you don't mind, I just got Snowman, and I would like to go home.
Thankfully, Snowman doesn't have an Urban Dictionary definition, does it, Disbrew? Yes, I'm gonna go there. Snowman, the act of inserting a thumb or two fingers into the anus of another person, like a carrot being placed incorrectly on a snowman's face. This is Doctor Who, folks. Thankfully, it's not made for kids.
You can temper that reaction and change it if you introduce these images to people happily and normally and calmly when they're young.
I'm a grown adult and I don't think I'd react too calmly to a thumb or two fingers getting inserted up my anus, Russell. Still, there's probably enough indoctrination for one episode, don't you think?
Okay, so this is going to be my main critique of this video, because that whole segment right there makes absolutely no sense whatsoever when you actually have the context of the episode. For example, I like how Heels here just conveniently misses out the fact that the Doctor was almost killed by a snowman, hence why he says the line. Like, Heels doesn't include this clip at all, so any new viewer who hadn't seen Doctor Who would just automatically assume that it meant that kind of definition. Secondly, we don't know if this is an innuendo or not. Like, there's nothing to imply in the episode that this is an innuendo. The fact that you had to go to, like, the 8th definition on Urban Dictionary of snowman just to find some sort of negative connotation is probably an example of the fact that it isn't actually an innuendo and doesn't mean anything outside of just being a quirky word Russell made up. And heck, even if it is, innuendo is not indoctrination. The only way this would be indoctrination is if the kids in the audience already knew what Snowman meant and wouldn't just think the Doctor was almost killed by a falling snowman. And heck, let's say, for the sake of argument, this is an innuendo, even though it's incredibly obscure, right? How come you're not comfortable with that, but you don't mention something like this?
Compensating? For what? Regeneration, it's a lottery.
Wait, how did you do that?
I spent a long, hot summer with Harry Houdini.
Wait a minute. Is the Doctor...
Loud equals funny, everyone. Don't forget that loud equals funny.
Have you ever shoved anything in your own ass? Yeah, of course. Duh.
So in the first 20 minutes of the episode, we've had Dylan Mulvaney singing a song.
Get it? Every gender non-conforming person is the same. They're exactly the same as one another, and therefore you can apply your exact same prejudices towards one as towards another.
We've then had the Doctor mincing around in a skirt in a gay bar.
There's nothing in the episode to indicate that it's a gay bar. Probably just a normal bar.
The Doctor then telling a policeman that he's had a thumb or two fingers inserted up his anus.
No, Heels. He didn't say that. Stop misconstruing the conversation. Fuck off.
And then the Doctor telling a 19-year-old companion that he spent a long, hot summer with Harry Houdini. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yes, Heels, because it would be deeply inappropriate for an older man to talk about or to a 19-year-old in that way.
There's a freeze frame just for you.
Yeah.
I know. Why'd you think I didn't
Look at
move
how
it any
scared.
further?
Look at how scared shooting. Look at how scared shooting Gawa is of a woman's tits.
Yeah. Quickly,
Complete
cover them up!
opposite to as.
Cover them up! I'm just like, I'm okay with it.
Okay. It's Doctor Who winning you over now.
Oh my.
Okay. I'm lying. It was a kilt, not a skirt.
Falling down on my
Side note, you know he's not drinking anything in that cup. He's having a mouthful of fine dust. If you're going to commit to a bit, really commit to it. Come on.
As mentioned in the introduction, this was actually the lowest viewed Doctor Who Christmas show yet in 18 years of New Who's history, bringing in only 4.73 million overnight viewership. But overnight was actually beaten by 2 out of the 3 60th anniversary shows as well. And as you can see from the consolidated numbers, which have now been amended correctly as the BBC tried to fudge those figures, the drop between the first special to the second special was 500,000. And by time the third special dropped, nearly 1 million viewers had left in the span of a 2-week period. And with the consolidated numbers still to come for the Christmas show, I've got a feeling it's not going to be that great.
Look, I'm not saying these ratings are amazing or whatever, or the BBC wouldn't 100% try and fudge the ratings to try and make them look higher. But there are more factors to consider here. That's a general problem when talking about ratings, because really you can spin them in any way you really want. Like here, for example, even though the ratings are still low, Doctor Who was the 3rd most watched thing on the BBC on Christmas Day. And heck, audience retention needs to be thought about here. The fact that the drop-off is in the hundreds and thousands and not millions is a bloody miracle. And heck, do you want to see what the consolidated figures are for the church on Ruby Road? It was just below the Star Beast in terms of viewership, with a culminated 7.26 million viewers. Not going to be too great, huh, Heels?
So in the space of 4 Doctor Who shows in recent weeks, we've had 2 transgender characters. By the way, the chances of those in actual reality are next to 0.
Wait, what? What does this mean? It kind of sounds like Heels is like, 2 trans people can't exist at the same time, that's impossible.
But never mind, let's carry on. The Doctor being lectured on how pathetic he is as a man because women's know everything, aka intersectional feminism, and of course remember that one of the women that was lecturing the man was actually a man, but of course don't worry about that. Okay, let's move on again.
Heels, can you just have one? Can you just have one video that isn't rampantly transphobic? Can you do that for me? Please.
We've then had gay Doctor.
In the words of Graham O'Brien, you're literally just making sounds now.
And then, of course, we had the lecture on pronouns.
You know, the lecture on pronouns that lasted like 20 seconds consecutively.
Which, of course, if you're not dumb as fuck, you understand goes alongside with compelled speech. But unfortunately, there is a lot of dumb people. And with these coming at you like a bloody sledgehammer, is it any wonder that people are turning off in droves? Or are they just bigots and phobes and yada yada yada? The simple answer is, of course, no, of course they're not.
Wait, fucking how? If you saw the Doctor dancing around in a kilt in like a bar and immediately thought, he's gay, I'm not gonna watch this anymore, then guess what? You're bigoted. If you saw like 2 trans people at the same time, ooh, and you thought, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this anymore, guess what? You're bigoted for doing that. Because those factors have nothing to do with the objective quality of the episode. It's okay if you don't like the Doctor dancing around in the bar as a creative decision because it potentially doesn't fit the character, but not liking it because it's aesthetically gay or whatever doesn't really make any sense.
This is why pushing a partisan ideology is just cancerous for your show, because you're coming from the position that you think you're always right.
Heels, buddy, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you do the exact same thing. You can't admit when you're wrong. Look, I know about the whole Actman situation, and guess what? Actman was in the wrong there. He wasn't acting in good faith towards Heels. But the whole reason Heels covered him in the first place wasn't to point out that he was wrong, it was to justify his pronouns rant. And that's the thing. I can look back on my previous videos that I did covering Heels and Critical and go, I did something wrong there. That was on me. I'll try and improve for the future. I'll do that. They're not brilliant in any sense of the word, but I still stand by a lot of the points I made there. I'm not ashamed by those, I just want to make those points better, and amend the bad or wrong opinions I had in the future.
Now, where have we heard this before?
One request, human race back in the future. Why does everyone think they're right?
So that they win. I made every opinion supreme. That's the game of the 21st century.
Projection was always a bit of a problem when it came to far-left ideology. But as opposed to a fictional situation where people think they're right, they actually do think that they're right.
Again, Heels. You're doing the exact same thing. You're leaving no fucking room for anything. You can criticize Russell for making bizarre decisions and thinking he's always right about, whatever creative or political decision he makes. Fine, whatever, sure. But Heels, you are doing the exact same thing.
And therefore their opinion becomes, in their eyes, fact.
Heels, again, you treat your opinion as fact all the time. What else is this rant but treating your opinion as fact? What else is the Snowman line but you trying to interpret your opinion as fact when there's nothing actually in the episode to indicate that?
And instead of trying to win people over with your deeds, you end up doing things like demanding respect, like some goddamn heel wrestler from the WWF.
You and everybody else will respect me.
And you know why heel wrestlers demand respect? It's because it's such an easy way to get heat from the crowd, because everybody knows respect is earned. You don't get respect when you demand it. You earn your respect. So when you get people saying, you will respect my pronouns, you will respect my gender ideology, the answer is no.
I think it's very interesting here that Heels views, identity as, some sort of wrestling match, as if it has to be won. Respect, to an extent, is earned, but at the same time, respect is also empathy. You can give your respect to something that you empathize with. That's not a bad thing.
So instead of actually crafting a thought-provoking piece of television, you come across as lecturing and preachy and demanding and aloof and above everybody else.
Do I really need to say it at this point?
You come across as an obnoxious prick, which is exactly how Russell T Davies and his 4 shows so far have come across to audiences, and that's why people aren't watching the show. The people who are demanding respect don't give any back because they don't respect your position, because in their eyes, they are right and you are wrong.
I know, right? How dare a trans person not be accepting of someone who hates their guts? It just doesn't make any sense.
This isn't a debate. It is compliance with their ideology, and people are sick and tired of it. You have taken 60 years of Doctor Who history and fundamentally changed it.
Oh, it's 60 years of Doctor Who now, is it? It's not 55. We're counting the Jodie Whittaker stuff now, are we?
For your ideological purposes, and then you wonder why people have rejected your show, but more importantly, they're rejecting your ideology. You're not winning people over, you're turning more and more people against you, and in the words of Princess Leia Organa,
the more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
Heels, That is the exact reason why I'm responding to this video. The only reason you're making this video isn't out of a love of Doctor Who, or genuinely, or authentically, or thoroughly critiquing it. You're just making it to spout your ideology. Guess what? I don't like the Star Beast very much, and I don't think its political message was very well integrated into the episode. But at least I get a semi-decent episode of Doctor Who out of it, rather than a hairy man yelling at me for 11 minutes.
But more importantly, the people who are watching your stuff understand full well that your ideology is rooted in lies.
Says the man who thinks two trans people can't exist in the same vague area as each other, and misconstrued the context of what Snowman meant.
The very people that you claim to champion are actually being hurt because of it. Whether it be through corporations exploiting them, whether it be through people pretending to be things that they're not, be they actors or influencers or social media personalities or other such celebrities, whatever celebrity means. In other words, vapid narcissists and also predators.
Look, I kid, but I am legitimately lost here. How did we get from the Doctor dancing around in a kilt and, like, Houdini to whatever the fuck Heels is talking about here? I'm genuinely confused.
That are all too willing to exploit these situations in an effort to further their own careers.
Dude, again, the Snowman comment.
Understand the safety that it affords them as well, and the approval that it will get them for sponsorships and other such deals, all comes at the detriment of the very people you claim to support. There's no denying now that Doctor Who is well and truly dead.
Wait, so Doctor Who didn't die during the Jodie Whittaker era? Or it was dying in the Jodie Whittaker era? Or was dead in the Jodie Whittaker era, and now it's just continued to be dead? Something...
This upcoming series starting in May is pretty much doomed from the get-go. If the viewership is already as low as it is,
again, the consolidated figures for the church on Ruby Road.
How much lower do you think it'll get when it's not a special? I'm willing to bet that it'll definitely go to the lows of Jodie Whittaker's run, and possibly even lower, especially when the stars of the show open their mouths and say shit like this. New Doctor Who companion, Millie Gibson. There are so many controversial elements to this season. It's what we need. No, Millie, it's not what we need. What we need is for the family entertainment show to be family-orientated again.
Ah, yes. Uncontroversial family entertainment.
Sorry.
Till you came.
Body so hot.
Body so hot.
With blood.
With blood.
And pain.
I can see a response to this being, oh, those episodes weren't political. Sure. A hostile environment and an overcrowded hospital system, meaning people had to let go of their humanity to survive, and a meta-commentary on tribe mentality and how easy it is to often ostracize unknown factors in a human experience and nature. Sure, those aren't political at all.
Because controversial elements mean partisan politics.
Oh shit. Well, I guess the Third Doctor's era is bad now.
Women's liberation, Your Majesty. On Earth, it means... well, very briefly, it means that we women don't let men push us around.
Shout out to Phoenix24 and Doctor Who being political for an hour video. It's a good video, you should check it out.
And everybody fucking knows that. You're not winning people over with shit like this. You're pushing people further away. And the more you try to isolate groups, the more it looks like your behavior is predatory and is trying to co-opt and indoctrinate as opposed to entertain.
Wait, how is it indoctrination if it's saying that it is going to be controversial and it is going to upset people? Like, surely indoctrination has, like, the opposite job to do.
Once again, an industry that's known for its disgusting individuals, murderers, thieves, rapists, and in the case of the BBC, paedophiles, as the BBC protected them for years and years and years, once more want to tell you, the public, how you should be thinking.
Okay, I have to say this, but, what the fuck does this have to do with Doctor Who?
When they're the most vile people on the planet. So no, you don't come across as progressive or open. No, you come across as obnoxious and insidious and insufferable. Doctor Who is dead. R.I.P. Doctor Who.
Oh, had to get the catchphrase in there, everyone. Had to get the nerd-erotic catchphrase. Had to get the catchphrase, otherwise, you know, there wouldn't be the catchphrase, there wouldn't be the gimmick. We wouldn't have the thing. I also love how it just kind of comes at the end of the video as if Heels just kind of forgot to say it. It's like, oh yeah, R.I.P. Doctor Who, by the way. Yeah, this video is awful. It's legitimately terrible. It's a legitimately terrible video. I have no idea what it's meant to say. I have no idea what it's meant to imply. I think... I don't know. That Doctor Who is bad now and it shouldn't be lecturing you because the BBC has done shady stuff in the past? Or something? I don't know. Ironically, I have the same kind of feelings about this video that Heels does about this episode of Doctor Who. It's obnoxious, it's preachy, and at the end of the day, has extremely low entertainment value. But you know what? I'm lying. There's actually a semicolon in the title.